Hello, Swasti.
हाँ
Hello.
हाँ हाँ
Could
बोलो.
you please could you please start the webinar after 2 or 3 minutes? Let the people join this meeting on our YouTube channel.
All right.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, Neeraj.
Swasti and Nilanjan sir, the
Yeah,
PPT is live, so could you please, it is fine or not? Then we shall we start the
yeah,
call
it's
now?
okay. I guess we can go to slideshow mode or something so that we can have a full page view. Or else
Sure,
this is
sure,
also
definitely,
fine.
sir.
Swasti, some people from our side may join. So if you just allow access.
Sir, they can join us on our YouTube channel.
No, can they join over this link on this link, the Google Meet link?
Wait, sir, wait, sir. I will tell you.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Neeraj?
And also,
Neeraj?
if we can make the presentation full screen, yeah, as suggested.
I think Swasti left the connection, so she will back in 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay, no problem, Neeraj. Sir, we are
Yes, yes.
apologize for that, sir. We can't bring them to meet. So they can join us on YouTube, sir, because we are restricted this to our this to two people only. Abhishek sir,
हाँ बोलिए.
सर वो पॉसिबल नहीं है सर इस पे सर, क्योंकि हमने सर जब लिंक बनाया था तो रिस्ट्रिक्ट कर दिया था सर इसको 8 पीपल तक का.
Okay, okay, sure, no
We
issues,
can
no
we
issues.
can join us on your YouTube channel, sir.
That I have told. Yeah,
Okay, sir.
no. Can you make the presentation full screen? Is that
Neeraj,
possible?
please make Neeraj.
Yes,
Neeraj,
yes,
can you hear
Kirtiman,
me?
I'll make it. Yes, 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 yes. I'll make it full screen. Wait a
Okay.
minute. Kirtiman and Nilanjan sir,
Yeah.
still presentation is on full screen. So
हाँ
can we
ठीक
go?
है.
Is it fine, sir? We can make any
हाँ
changes on this presentation.
ठीक है. नहीं नहीं ठीक है. I think this is good. Yeah.
It is okay now, Neeraj.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Sasti, could you please start the webinar? I think most of the parts will be covered by Ranjan and testing done by us.
All right,
Shall we
all
start
right.
with the one?
So shall we start?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Okay then. I'm starting. Good evening, everyone. Namaskar. I hope you all are doing well. My name is Swasti Kaushik, and I welcome all of you on behalf of Over and Out organization for this amazing session with Conservators of Nature. We all know that human or anthropogenic intrusions and growing urbanization is increasing at an alarming rate, causing destruction of nature. Combined with this, uncalled natural disasters push this situation even further. Apart from tackling the deadly COVID pandemic, we faced numerous disasters during this lockdown, both natural as well as man made, which greatly impacted our environment. Now, these facts are not new to anyone, but the major question is what are we doing to mitigate this damage? A very famous quote goes by: if you don't practice what you preach, you're nothing more than a hypocrite. Today, we have two very special guests who joining with us, Mr. Nilanjan Majumdar and Mr. Abhishek Chatterjee, all the way from Kolkata, representing their organization Biloopto. Under their Root to Root initiative, this organization is engaged in the process of restoring trees which got uprooted during Cyclone Amphan. It's a real pleasure for us to have them both for this online session. They will address the origin of their initiative Biloopto, their oath to rejuvenate our extinct humanity, and other social issues which they deal with. So, with this, let us proceed this session. Over to you, Mr. Nilanjan ji.
Yeah. So, first of all, thank you so much for providing us this wonderful opportunity to share with all our journey, if I put it like that, for the last 1 year. Uh, so, to start off with, I would like to give a background of what Bilupto is and how it came into being. Okay. So, Bilupto, as you know now, is a charitable initiative created around June last year. I would just like to share the genesis of this idea, how it all started. So we, some alumni of Jadavpur University, Kolkata, we just met up in the campus, back then in somewhere in June 19, as I was saying, which has always, this Jadavpur campus has always been the center of all our interactions. While usual Adda, as you all know in Bengal, we call it Adda, the interactions that we have was going on, suddenly one of us came up with this pertinent question: what are we doing for others? Of course, many of us were already doing their bits on individual basis. Someone was donating money to Cry or UNICEF. Someone was doing their office CSR works with much passion and love, and somebody was donating their used clothes to Ramakrishna Mission or Bharat Sevashram, etc., etc. But hence came the next question: why don't we do it together and create a greater impact? And with this, Bilupto was born. So Bilupto, it's a Bengali word. In English, it means extinct, and that's our vision is, and it's an oath to rejuvenate extinct humanity by bringing together like-minded people and standing beside the less privileged. So to
But
start off
hence
with, came the next question:
to
why don't we
get
do
in
it
touch with
together? More and more like-minded people, we thought that it's most feasible to start off with some project which is easier to handle and easier to start. So we went off with collection and distribution of old clothes. But gradually, over the year, we had slowly forayed into four main areas of work, which you can see here: emergency, education, empowerment, environment. So environment is, of course, it's the heart of our our actions and our plans, future plans. But we also believe that the environment does not only comprise of the plants and trees, I mean the flora and the fauna, but it also involves our fellow citizens, the human beings who are around us. If we all have to achieve that goal, then we all have to stay in a, we all have to strike that balance, and we all have to be happy. So we can just move on to the next slide. Neeraj, can we just move on to the next slide?
Dheeraj, wait, sir. We'll.
Or Sunil, I guess Sunil, you are projecting, right? You are sharing the file. You can just go to the next slide. Yeah. So first we will talk a bit about emergency vertical that we are handling. So in emergency, we provide relief materials during any natural disaster that include food, essentials, and health and hygiene accessories, etc., etc. What we do is we set up a team, we do the field scouting, we find out the exact requirement, because with areas, with regions, and with different geographies and with different situations, the need totally changes. So we do a ground scouting, and according to the requirements that we find out, we carry out these relief operations. So till now we have actually it feels great. In this 1 year we had 40 plus tons of relief material have been distributed over several locations. Like, as at least 22,000 individuals have been impacted, who were distressed due to some natural calamity or certain situation. And we also do have future plans of increasing our volunteer base and collaborations with other NGOs, if I put it like that, because as I said, our motto lies there from the beginning itself, to meet more and more like-minded people and grow our network. So till now, we are working with NGOs like Chopin in West Bengal. We are working with NGO called Akankha Exom in Assam. We have worked with certain NGOs in Karnataka as well during last year flood over there, and now, of course, we are here with you. So that was the gist of what we had done in this vertical, basically emergency. So I would request you to play this video, because we thought that videos speak a million words. Instead of putting a lot of words on the slides, we thought that we'll keep the video links. If we see the videos, we can have a flavor of the journey that we had in this emergency vertical. So you can just play the first one. It was our first drive in Assam when we were just 1 month old, after Assam floods last year. No, no, in the previous slide itself, the link to the first video. Yeah, the first link.
Sunil, can you please click the first link, the YouTube link? I think the presentation is gone. Nilanjan, I think you can continue. I think Sunil is joining there. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a video of our first relief operation in Assam last year during the floods in Ghoramara, in a place called Ghoramara. And of course, it had those relief materials, basic hygiene materials, as well as clothes that we had started off with.
The video isn't playing, right?
I think Damra, let's continue the discussion. Uh,
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir. So there is little lag in system, sir, and just because of monsoon, it's raining there.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. This, as I was saying, this was in Ghoramara, Assam last year. This was the very first distribution drive where we had coupled our clothes along with other basic relief materials which are most essential in floods, And we had done this drive in collaboration with this Akanka Exom, which is an active NGO in Assam. We were just 1 month old, and it was a great challenge, to cross the borders, get to Assam, all these materials, and then getting it on ground and distributing it. But yes, of course, it was a great experience. And after that, we just kept on doing these operations as and when there were any natural calamities. Okay, I guess we can quickly go to the next one as well.
Hello.
I guess the videos are
Uh,
taking much longer to play, and there are network
sir,
issues. So I guess we will skip a few. Yeah.
sir, can we play the next video?
Yes, you can, and if there are network issues and all, you can actually skip the next, I mean, the second and the third one, and go straight away to the fourth one.
Just wait 1 minute, sir. We are trying to back with the new video.
Up to you.
Th- Thank you, sir.
Hmm. Okay, I guess this is the second video. This was in a place in Sundarban near Bangladesh border, where we had taken. This was a women's special drive where we had just before the Durga Pujas. Durga Puja is a big festival in Bengal. So just before the Durga Pujas, we had carried clothes and especially saris for the women out there, and distributed it from the women's perspective. This happens to a school building there in, it's very near Bangladesh to Durga Puja. And of course, yes, we carried clothes for almost 150 kids on this occasion. Yes, we can quickly move to the next one as well.
Hello.
Hello.
Sir, video part is done. Shall we proceed the further
Okay,
discussion?
we can move to the next slide actually. Yes, yes. Let us move to the next slide.
Okay, sir. Okay. No.
Okay. So coming to the next area of our work, which is education. Of course, since we started, everything started from Jadavpur University. We always had this commitment of doing something in the education field as well. So we started off with distributing essentials in schools in remote villages, which have limited access to stationery items like notebooks, pencils, drawing books, crayons, and even sports material like football and cricket bats and all those things. Then maybe small articles like school bags, shoes, umbrellas. So, like we started off in a very remote school in a place called Lepchakha in Baksa. In the forests of Baksha, you have to actually we had to cover the last few miles on foot because there is hardly any vehicular road access over there. So in this particular school, we started with this stationery distribution. Then after that, we kept on visiting remote schools like this and distributing these stationaries during COVID. Also, I mean, in this COVID new normal situation, you can understand we put special stress on educating kids about the do's and don'ts during to prevent the pandemic, to distribute sanitizers and masks to them. So here also we have got a small video, the one from the first drive that we did in Baksa. You can just play that one, this particular link. No, no, in the previous slide. In the previous slide, see in the bottom there is one link. Yeah, that one. So this one is in Lepchakha, Baksa, towards. It's in the foothills of the Himalayas in the northern portion of West Bengal. This is the Tista River. We crossed Tista, then yes, last few miles we had to take porters and cover the forest on foot. So these are the various school stationaries, school bags, etc. For the those tribes are called Lepchas, for the Lepcha kids, and you can see the smiles on their faces. And that actually with this drive we committed ourselves that yes, we should definitely do something on this education vertical as well. And we are currently, apart from distributing these kind of essential stationaries etc to kids in various remote schools, we are also thinking about getting into actually collaborating with NGOs who are running schools for underprivileged kids, as well as some child labor, in certain regions of West Bengal, and we are trying to collaborate with them as we speak. There are meetings etc. happening with certain NGOs like that, and I guess I'm hopeful that soon we'll be able to bring something onto the table. Yeah. So that was Lepchakha Drive, only for education. Yeah. I guess we can move to the next slide. Yeah. Now, coming to empowerment, this idea struck us during the this ongoing pandemic, when we saw that in front of our eyes there were many daily wages who were losing their jobs on a daily basis with no practical source of income. But this situation added to their agony, and we just had to do something. So we thought that let us do something. Let us find a middle path. Let us provide raw materials to these daily wages who know a bit of tailoring, and give them the design to manufacture masks, which we can distribute among the poor, among the underprivileged, among kids, as well as sell maybe a bit, a small percentage of it, sell it off, so as to incur the costs. So this gift mask initiative was launched, wherein we use the technology, the design that was developed in Jadavpur University as well. Some of the professors, they had designed a triple layered mask with polypropylene on both sides and absorbent cotton in between. It acts like a diode which doesn't allow the droplets to permeate from outside. And with this mission, we started off with just maybe producing 100 or 200 masks, but till now, actually, we have distributed, as we speak, close to 4,000 masks, and at least 40% of all the this thing, the proceedings that we come go for this thing, the daily wages. Okay, and we also have plans of getting this number to 10,000 plus, and like 2 more employments. Like currently, if you go quickly to the next slide, currently we have identified 7 such families where daily wages, they had lost their jobs. You can just go to the next slide. Yeah, seven families where the primary income source was disrupted during COVID, and they are now actually being fed with these raw materials. They are manufacturing the masks, and we are giving them greater labor wage than what is prevalent in the market, just to support them further, during these trying times. And also you can see a few snaps of distribution drives wherein sanitizers and these our own manufactured masks are being distributed free of cost to the underprivileged. We have done this in Durgapur, we have done this in Sundarbans, in the Amphan affected areas. We have done in small local, in a poor neighborhoods of Kolkata city itself. And we are trying to spread the awareness, as well as, yes, the most important thing is making people aware of the importance of wearing masks to prevent this pandemic. And of course, those who cannot afford to buy, we are giving them for free of cost. So 2 things being taken care of here: the daily wages getting more wages than the market prevalent rates, and the poor and the needy getting masks free of cost. Yes, we can go to the next slide. Sunil, we can go to the next slide, I guess. Abhishek, I would just request you to take it over from here, because we are in the central subject now, environment, and Abhishek happens to be, the anchor person for this vertical. So I would request Abhishek to come in here.
Yeah, thank you, Nilanjanda. I think a warm
Yeah, please.
welcome to everyone and a big thank you to Over and Now for inviting us and giving us this opportunity to present what we do or what we have done or what we plan to do. And most importantly, as Nilanjanda mentioned, to reach out to like-minded people and to maybe ignite the inspiration from on both sides, both from the listener side and from the participant side, and maybe do collaborative work, learn from each other. So I think it's very positive. Yeah. So the slide that we are seeing right now, that kind of summarizes the work we have done. So just to give an idea of how it all started. So as you know, there was a super cyclone Amphan, a kind of cyclone which like hasn't happened in Kolkata for the last 70 years. So it winds say, of around 120 kilometer, 130 kilometer per hour. So that had a heavy toll on the large trees, on the roadside trees, on all the trees, all the large trees were like almost to a large extent uprooted because of the storm. So when we saw uh, the death and when we saw the massacre, we were thinking what we can possibly do to maybe even bring back a part of this to back to existence. So we were searching, but what we realized that was most of the like technologies that are actually required for large size tree plantation, including all the root and the entire cutting and transplanting, that is actually not so much easily available in India. So then what we observed was that there was this one incident. So in the backyard of my home, I saw one a tree, a mango tree getting which was uprooted, and then it got restored. That was with the help of chain and pulley, simple chain and pulley, the mechanical chain pulley. So where they tie the tree with a chain pulley and pull the shorten the length of the rope and make it stand and then give it support. So that is what clicked, and we thought maybe it's what we call a jugar, but it will actually help us restoring some of the trees. So we started off with this system, and the smaller trees, maybe trees of up to 15 to 20 years, different types of trees, and we restored almost say like 50 trees with the help of these people. These people were also migrant laborers, and they were left behind after the pandemic. And so that was that was the journey, that was the start, that was very beautiful. Next, what we were thinking was that Jadavpur University, as you understand, is a very old university. It's almost more than 70 years old. So there are many large trees, like trees which are itself like many years old, and which had been uprooted and which we couldn't do with the simple chain pulley kind of a system. So then what we did was that uh, we we got in touch with Nature Mates, agency called Nature Mates. So they are experts at large tree restoration. They do with the help of JCB and crane. So the process that they follow is they so the tree. So I will show the video. Maybe I will take you to the process at that point of time. So what we did was that we saw some of the large, very large trees, like trees of 60 years, 70 years, and above, and those were brought to life. And because of the monsoon, we see that most of the trees are have given very positive signs of revival and restoration. So we will take you through the process, and also, but just to take you through this slide. So we, as I mentioned, first through manual and through chain pulley, we had restored almost 50 trees, and then with Nature Mates, with the help of chain and pulley, we restored another almost 70 trees. So we totally restored around 111 trees, mainly inside Jadavpur University, but a single 3 trees we restored outside Jadavpur University as well. As I mentioned, almost 50% of the trees are the very large trees, like more than 50 years and above age. Uh, Another point is all of these are trees of various species, and they are very important both from the biodiversity point of view, both from the oxygen point of view, or carbon sequestration point of view, and mostly as we are student or as we were students of Jadavpur University, from the emotional aspect of it, because nature also has a strong emotional quotient associated with it. So, so that is what we have done so far. What we started today is we had the first plantation drive under Root to Root, where we planted almost 58 trees, but 58 trees of 5 feet and above, so that the initial the period is taken care of. The trees are of a certain height, so that if they get proper soil and rain, which they will get anytime now, they will grow by themselves. We don't have to worry about their sustenance. Almost 58 trees we have planted today, and this was our first plantation drive, and the almost 15 different species. I think more than, I think, 18 different species, and all these species are either currently non-existent inside Jadavpur University, or they are attractive to say like insects or birds or butterflies. So that is what we started today. Our next plan is to increase the footprint in terms of the both the length and the depth of the spectrum, in terms of the kind of projects we do and the impact of projects. We want to increase that definitely. So next we are planning to work on something like a butterfly garden. We have identified the area. We have initial discussions, and we plan to set it up inside Jadavpur University or anywhere else also, if we find suitable space. And also we want to do extensive plantation drive. So we want to plant more trees inside Jadavpur University, and also we were planning to plant trees in Moshuni Island. So if you, I don't know whether you have heard of Moshuni Island. It's a island, remote island in Sundarban area, which is uh, uh, kind of drowning with the increasing sea levels because of global warming, and there is extensive flood. I think you have heard it, like not only during Amphan, even during the current rains, Sundarban area is facing extreme floods, and all of this is increasing because we have seriously affected the mangrove cultivation and all the natural things over there, and those needs to be restored. So we will definitely try to play our little part in that. And uh, uh, Also on the pipeline, we are thinking of the we have a few beautiful jheels inside Jadavpur University, which we are planning to restore, either through fishes or through cleanup drives and all. So that is what we plan to do. So if you can go to the next slide. Yeah, so these are some of the before and after pics. On the left is three trees which were like side by side, and in Jadavpur University second campus, and in the central, the peak on in the middle. This is also a tree in Jadavpur University, and these pictures basically show what we could see when we actually did the Reiki. Uh, so. Uh, so what happened was that the Amphan struck on 20th of May, and we visited the campus on 25th of May. So when we visited the campus, we were literally shocked seeing the destruction all around. And Jadavpur University has almost 2,200 trees, marked trees, that is identified trees inside Jadavpur University first campus across 66 acres. So when we and because of the Amphan, almost 200, more than 200 trees have been uprooted. Okay, so when we came and first saw the destruction, it was literally an eye opener for us, and but the only thing we could think was, okay, how many or how could we maybe restore a part of this to their maximum glory. So as I mentioned, we restored 111 trees, and because of the work and because of the expertise of the people who were involved, because of the rains and because of the blessings of our well wishers, the results have been very excellent, which I will show you in more videos. And our work got featured in the Telegraph, which is a leading daily English newspaper in the West Bengal area. And they also acknowledge that the work has been done very scientifically, and the results are showing good. Okay, so if you can click maybe one of these, the three videos one by one, the three links in this slide. Sunil, if you can just click on the links. No, the same slide. Yes, thank you. So I think if you can, yeah. So this is a very interesting video. So I think you have to sound it. You have to put the sound. Otherwise, this video will not make sense. If you can increase the sound is on mute.
This guy hands planted a forest. But first, let me tell you his story from the beginning. Jadav is a 60-year-old farmer. He has a family of 5 and he lives in a modest home in northern India. But next to his home, he saw trees were dying. The river was flooding, the animals were fleeing, and the land was disappearing. He saw deforestation. But instead of doing nothing, this farmer did something very simple. He planted a tree. Every day, he cut a branch from his trees, walked for 20 minutes, took a boat, crossed a river, and walked for 2 hours more to get to an empty piece of land with nothing in it and planted a tree. This is amazing! He did that day after day after day for 3 months a year, year after year, for 40 years, until his trees turned into a forest. A real, green, beautiful forest that went from this to this. It's too good to be true, but we're standing in it. His forest is estimated to be 550 hectares big, which is
bigger than Central Park in New York.
the trees that he planted are now dropping seeds to the ground, and now they're growing even by themselves. And after many years, animals started showing up at his forest.
Elephant, tiger, rhino, deer.
His forest attracted wildlife and greenery, and it has become possible for him to farm in it and make a living. One day, this farmer was discovered by the local media, and he turned into a sensation in his country. People called him
Forest Man of India.
Presidents congratulated him and gave him prizes, and conferences invited him to speak there. This simple farmer has become a role model for millions of people.
He's an inspiration for all of us, as
He's planting many more trees and he's making a desert into a forest.
40 years after he started, Jadiv still plants trees on a regular basis. But his next goal now is a little bit different.
We want to write a book on how to plant trees.
He wants to write a book with his friend because they believe that if we educate kids, just like his kids, on the importance of nature from a very young age, we can fix today's problems. And he wants to spread that message as wide as possible.
And I will never stop.
It took me a lot of effort to find this guy. I had to cross oceans and drive to the middle of nowhere and walk in the middle of a swamp. Where are we? Just to share his simple message with you.
Take me back to the jungle.
If you do something good, if you help just a little bit, every day, for many days, sooner or later, you will create something much bigger than you. Something that will change the world for the better. See you next week.
Yeah, Sunil, if you can also play the next video. It's on the same slide. I think it's a series of images. These are the pictures of the restored trees that you are seeing right now. So these are the trees which we have restored, the large size trees we were talking about. So these are all trees beside the playground, the famous playground of Jadavpur University. And so Sunil, if you can change the pictures, if there are more pictures. Yeah. So next picture, please. Yeah, if you can see the green sprouts that have come up and which is so looking so beautiful, and all of this is possible also mainly because it's very raining and the trees are getting good rains, and also the work has been done by experts. So next, yeah, the next pictures, please. Yeah, yeah, next. Yeah, all trees have given sprouts. All trees. Yeah. Yeah, so this is what we call the rekindled hope. Rekindled hope in the sense that these two trees were falling apart and when uprooted. These two trees are very famous trees in which we have in front of mechanical engineering building, and they were uprooted totally. And we as students, as former students, and we as like observers, we felt very bad. And when we got these trees resurrected, these pictures are taken after 1 month of resurrection or 1 month of restoration. I think this shows that how the trees have responded. Yeah, if you can play the next link, then if you can play the third link. Yeah, the third link. Yeah. So this is a video. If you can maybe increase the size, if it is possible. Or so here you can see they have uprooted the tree. They have taken the tree along with the bulb totally outside of the soil. And in the meanwhile, this guy is now spraying insecticides and fungicides and root hormone on the roots. because we have to cut some of the roots. Now, in the meantime, what has happened? The JCB is now working on digging up the area, a 6 foot by 6 foot by 6 foot area, with in where this tree along with the bulb would be placed. So you can see now. So this is the area is on the left of the tree. You can see there is a hole that has been dug up over there in the ground, where we will put the tree, and we will put a lot of mud or soil over that. So now the tree along with the bulb is entirely placed. And now this JCB will put a lot of soil over it. I think this is done. This video is done. We can go to the next slide. Yeah. Sunil, we can go to the next slide. So we don't used to always uproot the tree. So whenever that suppose the tree is uprooted 180 degrees, then we used to take it out from the soil. If the tree is uprooted only say 60 degrees or 40 degrees, then we don't take it out of the soil. We just put support and make the inclination stay. So if you can just change the slide, I think the video is beautiful. Sunil, if you can just change the slide. Yeah, so the next slide, yeah. So next slide, first of all, shows the rekindled hope image that I was talking about. So in the first, the left hand, the leftmost picture, the topmost picture, if you see, two trees are lying flat. Those were the two trees I was referring to. And the next picture is that is 1 month. That is on the day of restoration. And the third picture from the top, that is one month after restoration. So this series is called the Rekindled Hope, what we call Rekindled Hope, because this is very inspiring. This was very inspiring for us and for anyone who has seen it, who has seen the transformation. The next few pictures on the right are some of the pictures of the kind of green sprouts that we have seen recently in these trees. Yeah, if you can go next. I think that's it from our side. Swasti, I think if there are any questions, we'd be more than happy to take it.
Yes. Thank you so much, Uh, Thank you so much, both of you, Mr. Nilanjan ji and Abhishek ji, for this beautiful presentation. I'm sure that just like me, all our other viewers also enjoyed what you presented, and we bow down to the efforts of Biloopto and whatever they have done and all the initiatives that they have undertaken. Thank you so much for the presenting the presentation with us. Um, okay, so there are a few questions. Let me start. Um, so
Yes,
first of
please.
all, I would like to, congratulate on your first plantation drive. And when
Thank
you
you.
go
Thank
for
you.
when you go for plantation, how do you, matlab, how do you select the area, the regions, or you just, matlab, what are your criterias for the selection of site and the species which you choose for plantation?
Yeah, so first of all, we have to understand that Jadavpur University, the campus, or even if you take the southern part of Bengal, this is an extremely fertile area. Okay, here you plant anything, it will grow crazy. Okay, so it's not about whether but when we go to a place for plantation, obviously what we were keeping in mind was that we were trying to keep the species native, number one, and the species which are not very abundant inside the campus, or like which are present like in, let's say, like there is only one plant of that species inside campus. So that was the second consideration. The third was, as I mentioned, was that whether they attract other species or other butterflies, or are hosting plants, or maybe for birds they have fruits which attract birds, or insects. So that is the kind of consideration we give, and definitely we are not trying to go for numbers, because as I mentioned, we are only planted 58 trees, but these are like 5 foot and above, so we are much more certain of their sustenance, or their existence, even say after 10-15 years. Like,
Oh,
no, like it will stand the test of time. So I think these are the
okay.
major things. And as I mentioned, obviously, there are professors, there are like people who are enthusiasts and who are much more knowledgeable than us, and who are also interested in doing something green and doing something good. So they also come and they give their input. So we also learn as we traverse the journey. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So the whole process is scientific and okay, you go with the step-by-step procedure.
Yes, yes, yes. So my point is that for things like nature, it's what I have understood, uh, like doing so little works. The little thing that I have understood is that whatever you should do, first of all, it should have a long term aspect of it. And second of all is, if you are not sure, or if it is not scientific, then instead of doing good, it would be bad for the environment. Okay.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
So it's a very delicate balance, because otherwise people will think, or you will think that you have done good, but actually the output in the long term it is bad. Okay.
Yes. Uh, Another viewer, Abhinav Mishra, they have asked a question. How do you make sure that while you use this heavy machinery for your restoration processes like this JCB and all, which we viewed, so how do you make sure that the roots in the process don't get damaged?
See, as I mentioned, if it is already uprooted, okay, if it is already uprooted, say like out of the total circumference of the root, only say 5% area is intact. Rest 95% is uprooted. In that
Okay.
case, we totally take it out of the ground. Okay.
Hmm.
Otherwise, say if say 30% of the area is still there, we will not take it out from the ground. We will just change the inclination, make it straight. Okay, with the
Oh,
help of JCB and cranes, put lot of
yeah.
soil over it, and straighten
Hmm.
it up. We will not take it out of the ground. So during the handling of trees, the root is most important. So what we did was that we tried to impact as minimum roots as possible. Number one. Number two is we gave root hormones so that the roots which got impacted, they can revive and they can restore. And number three is, as I mentioned, only only uproot those trees which really need uprootment. Otherwise, don't uproot. Uh, just restore. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So do you experience any difference in the attitudes of, regional people since you have visited many places for your different initiatives regarding the environment? You know, people's perception regarding nature and its restoration. Do you feel that there is any difference?
No, I think nature is one area where there is no difference. Everyone feels for nature. Everyone understands nature. Everyone speaks with nature, or nature speaks with everyone. So, in nature is only one such thing where there is no difference, no religion, no caste, no creed, no language. Everything is same. So I have received always received very positive and very good support from all our friends and people, and the people who are working on the ground and the experts. Everybody has supported. Only then we have been able to do what we have been able to do. So at least I have got very good perception of people about nature. And I think in today's world, people are increasingly becoming aware that for their own sustenance in the long term, nature or climate is something which is inseparable and which should be prioritized given the current circumstances. So that is what I feel, and definitely with more people like Over and Out and with Biloopto and Root to Root and many other friends who will maybe join us in this process, maybe we can definitely make the perception lot uh, friendly and lot more defining. Yeah.
Yes, that's a nice message for all of us. So, for your initiatives, did you receive any help or aid from government organizations or anything,
No,
or
not
are you
really.
guys
So
doing
we are
everything on your own?
we are doing it through crowdfunding. We are doing it through crowdfunding. So we are seeking help from all our friends, our colleagues, our alumni, our the students, the professors, the staff. All people have come forward and they have contributed to their best possible measures and have made this possible. Yeah, for example, the plantation drive which we did today, we received a certain amount from our one of our teachers in South Point, and we diverted that fund for doing one initiative like very quick, because plantation is something which doesn't require a lot of money or a lot of uh, time also. So that has been our philosophy. So the philosophy is to keep doing the work and keep getting the support. And definitely we are in the process of registering ourselves. So that will be done also maybe in the next month. And then after that, we would try to get some support from the corporate also if possible, and maybe do much bigger and impactful projects. Yeah.
Okay, okay. That's really nice that you're receiving support from everyone around you. Can
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
I have also seen this carbon footprint calculator on your website. So can you, just brief our viewers on that too?
Yeah, so carbon footprint is nothing but it's a way. The calculator is a way of making people aware of the kind of carbon dioxide emissions or the kind of environmental impact we have without our even knowing those facts. Okay, it's just that. So whatever we do, whether things are coming to us through Amazon, so that has an environmental impact. All the foods that we buy, all the cars that we use, all the flights we take, everything has got a lot and lot of environmental impact. And even if we do nothing, I think even human beings itself has a lot of environmental impact. So a stat is that a full-grown person in his lifetime requires oxygen equivalent to four full-grown trees throughout their lifespan. So that's the kind of only oxygen that we need, and living around uh, the food and all aspects of it. So I think we need to be aware of that. We need to be conscious of that. We need to maybe restrict that to the extent possible. Maybe aggregate orders. Maybe doing a little of cycling or walking. Not using elevators unnecessarily. Switching off fans and lights. Not overcharging. All of these simple steps. I think if we follow, then I think we can save a lot of energy, a lot of carbon emission. Yeah.
Okay, okay. We are at the end of the session. Do you have any special messages for our viewers to, generate sensitivity towards conservation and nature protection? Do you have any last messages?
Yeah, so the last message would be that friends, please step forward and join us, join Biloopto, join Over and Out, join all these spiritful ventures, all these uh, good and noble initiatives. Because if human beings, as educated human beings or as educated new generation people, if we don't come and join hands and work on these initiatives, I don't think this will anyways get executed. And honestly speaking, for a country like